Welcome everyone. This is the egg that we did last week. This interlocking Y type pattern where they're almost, like a tessellation type design as well. So now I'm going to do a variation of this one. I'm going to do it a little different. One of the things I'm going to do is this one. You can kind of see it was divided into 8 sections. The next one I'm going to do, I'm going to divide it into 16 sections, or 8 lines going all the way around the egg. I will divide it into the 8, and then I'll mark a halfway point and make a mark and then draw the other lines. So there'll be 16 lines going like this. So these will be smaller. They're also not going to have as many lines in them. So where you see like this yellow goes like that, we're not going to put this line in. We're not going to put this line in. We're not going to put this line in. So I'm going to draw it a little differently than I drew this one, where this one we kind of drew it and we waxed all the lines. The next one we're going to draw everything we drew before, but when we go to draw the dark pencil lines, we're not going to draw all of those lines. So I'm really excited to show you that pattern. So let's get started. So this is the pattern. I'm going to draw it on some paper first. You can kind of see it through here, but you want to start with your lines. So pretend this is going around the egg. So you want an even number of lines. I have done it in multiples of 4. So the first one that I did in the previous video, I had it divided into 8 sections. And this one I did it in 16. So this red dot, pretend that's the pencil line. So after you get your lines drawn here, same thing, you're going to draw your diamond shape around the center. So that would be the center diamond shape. And then you're going to build from that, going up and below that. Again, this will all connect on your egg. And your lines aren't going to be quite as straight, or they won't connect like in one straight line because you're working on a curved surface of varying degrees of width. But it's the same principle. When I'm working on that, what I do on the egg is I draw each one separately as to where it should go. All right, so that's enough there. Now what we're going to do is draw the part that's actually going to be waxed. So similar to the other one, we're going to draw the upside down Y. So I'm going to start here. Now I'm doing this with the black to show that this is where we would actually put wax. So I drew the upside down Y in each one of them. Now you're not going to put wax on all of the lines like we did in the other egg. Here you're only going to be putting the wax on part of it. So you kind of make another Y inside of this, but this Y is not upside down, this one's right side up. So it's going to go here, here, and here. So I'll do that one more time. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I drew the Y's, and now I'm going to draw the right side Y, meeting at all those corners. We'll do, I'll do one more here. So, all right, it built on the two that were already there. So the black lines that I drew, that's what I would put wax on. All right, so let's do this on an egg. I had started it, but I will now show you. Okay. So you can see I've got it started. You can also see I didn't get it quite right in some of these spots, so I have to go back and fix that. But let's do this one right here. This has, I don't know if you can see them, very, very faint blue lines already. I drew all the lines with my favorite blue lead pencil, drawing them very lightly so that I could see the division to draw the Y, but I did not have to worry about this blue pencil lead showing through once I dye the egg in a dark color. And I might even dye this one, thinking about dyeing it in a dark blue and doing this one shades of blue. We'll see. So I drew my 6 upside down Y's, and now I'll draw my right side up Y. So it's very similar to this pattern. Now these are smaller because I divided the egg into 16 sections rather than 8. And the way I did that was I divided it into 8, and then I marked the halfway point on the long line on each of them, and then I marked what was halfway in between the two lines, marked that, and then I drew the other line. I didn't have anything that divided it into 16 sections. I could have taken my template and turned it slightly. I could have done that too, but that was how I did it. And it got pretty good even measurements. I was happy with it. So the only difference between this one and this one is this one has these 3 lines here. This line, and this line, and this one doesn't. So it's the same pattern, just with fewer lines. It's going to take a while to draw all this on here. I worked on this part for probably well over an hour. Well, no, I take that back. I worked on for about 2 hours to draw all the initial blue lines and then draw this much to make sure it worked. And we can do one here. So what I found easiest for me was to do them in like a line so that I made sure I was getting everything done where I wanted. So I've drawn the drawn the upside down Y, and some of it's part of another one. And now I will draw this and that, and then straight down. They get a little off center, shall we say, when you're doing the ones at the top and the bottom. Not off center, but just, no, because it's a different type surface. So there, there, and there. All right, one more. We'll do one more. So this is, like I said, this is why I was doing these, just going down and doing them in a long line. It helped me keep it straight. However works best for you. So once I finish this row, then I'll come up here and I'll put in my little upside down Y's like that, making sure they're matching up. And then I'll go back. I'm drawing them lightly, and then I will go back and draw them darker. So again, this is not for the people that like to do freeform stuff, but if you like geometric designs, this is the pattern for you, let me tell you. I'm excited to see what this one looks like. So when I come back, my intent is to have all of the lines waxed, and maybe I'll have it in the first color. I haven't decided yet because I haven't decided what color I'm going to do the lines yet. If I'm going to do them black or if I'm going to do them in, I might do them in a blue color. I might do them red. Haven't decided yet, but I will do that. But first, I have lots of time to think about it while I draw all this out there. So next step will be dyeing and waxing after I get all the lines drawn. So I was really worried about what color I was going to do the lines. I decided on black. But before I did that, I did this test egg because on the top of the first egg, I did like this double line, and then I did that yellow. And that worked. You know, I like that. But I wanted to see about maybe doing something a little different. So and I did a test egg. I did this on the brown egg, and this is a chicken egg. And I covered, this was the original color of the chicken egg. I covered that all, and then that's what all the lines were. I wanted to see what it would look like, and I have to say I like it. I also did this two-tone in the areas. I like it. I think I have to let it grow on me here for a little bit. I was trying to do it quickly, so they're not, they're not uniform. I like the concept. I could have done a better job on this egg, but I was doing it mainly to see, did I like this on the top or bottom? So I did like that, and here is our current status. I went with black because I looked in my cabinet where I have some eggs, and I saw several of them that I'd done a long, long time ago. They're actually, some of these are on the cover of my website. And where else? I can't remember where else. They're on my business card too. But I did a lot in yellow, green, like a bright green, and purple. So those are the colors I'm going to do on here. I'm really excited. And I like the way this turned out here at the top and the bottom. The bottom's especially cool, I think. It kind of almost has like the Death Star look when that original first one, when they were looking at it. It's not really what I was going for, and I think it'll look different when I'm done, but I do love it. So I will be dyeing this yellow and then a bright green. Then I will rinse it off and do it in a purple color. I want a bright purple, so it might take me a bit to get that worked out. And then it'll be time for reveal. I'm so excited. So I'm very excited to show you. I have all of the colors on this egg and the wax waxed, and then I've removed the wax. Anyway, I love the way this turned out. I love the yellow, green, and purple against the black. It turned out magnificent. I do need to varnish it. But before I do that, one last thing I wanted to show you, something that happened on here. You see these little, there's a few little areas where there's little spots. This egg had, I noticed it when I took it out of the green, a little bit of, it had a little leak in it, was what it had. And it was around the plug, which isn't there anymore. But so I took the plug out, and some of the areas I'd waxed, but anyway, with the green. So I'm going to go and touch those up before I varnish it. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my concentrated dyes. I'm going to put my gloves on first. Not that it wouldn't come off my hands eventually, but it is concentrated. So this is, in the case of this one, it's a package of the Ukrainian gift shop light green, 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of vinegar. So it's a very concentrated dye. And I'm going to use right there. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully paint over some of those little... Now, I could have re-waxed some of this. So that I wouldn't have to be quite so careful, but this is working. I have a very, very tiny amount on here because I do not want it to run. So there. So there. Now that those little spots are kind of gone, I'm going to try to make sure I don't have any hard edges there. Okay, I'll do that to touch them up, these spots, and then I'll varnish it, and then this will be done. So next week I have the third variation of this pattern that I will be showing you. It's also very cool. It builds on the same type of vertical lines and the diamonds. And then this one kind of has a basket weave effect to it. It's really cool. I can't wait to show it to you. So stay tuned for next week. In the meantime, have a blessed day.